to, will I say, how we do it at TechEduHub. As you can see, this is a robot. Okay, so I hope you see it in action in this video. Okay, so this robot comes, in different components before we get to put it together like this with bolts and nuts. But aside the bolts and nuts and the bodywork, we also have different parts that makes it move. So my colleague here will talk about the different parts of the robot arm, and then we continue from there. This is actually what we use to introduce children, students in schools, introduce them into what? Robotics. Robotics, a robot is a programmable machine that can what? Do human tasks. So this is a robot arm that can pick and drop items from 0 to 180 degrees. Okay, pick and drop items. All right, so Christabel, you can talk about the different parts of the robot.
Okay, hi everybody. This robot comes with different parts. We have the first part, the brain of the robot, that's the Arduino board. So the Arduino board is where it has an IDE where you put in your codes for your robot to run. We also have the servo motors. We have two types of servo motors here. We have the smaller one, and then we have another one, the bigger one there. The servo motors are what turns the arms from 0 to 180 degrees, as you can see right here.
Absolutely.
Then you have the other just physical parts like the hands, the grippers, the arm, the shoulder, and the base. And we also have the wires, jumper wires, just for basic connections from the servo motor to the Arduino board. And then lastly, we have the power cable where we use to power it.
And in continuation, each servo motor, remember motors store what? Electrical energy to what? Mechanical energy, or some sort of energy to mechanical. Okay, so that's the job of the servo motors that she mentioned. And so from each servo motor, there are wires that needs to be connected to what? To the Arduino. Okay, so the Arduino has different pins. There are some connected to the power pins, there are some connected to the digital pins and all that. Okay, and then once once we've done the connection, we then use the power cable like she mentioned to then put the codes after we've written the codes either with Scratch for Arduino or the Arduino IDE that uses the embedded C programming language. Okay, so after we're done with that, we then send the program or code, whatever we want it to do. At first, you can just send a program to make the base turn, just the base, and then you can also just send a program to make the arm itself move up and down, and then you can have a different program that makes the gripper just clap, close and open, and then there's now the overall program that will make it actually move, turn, move and pick items, within range from 0 to 180 degrees. As you can see in the video, this is just the base. We've just written programs, and as you can see on your screen, these are the codes that we use to program these robots to, move the base and also open up the grippers. So we've learned one or two things from us. This is what we do at TechEduHub and more. And thank you, Toby, for the opportunity to.
Today we have in the studio a very special person. Her name is Mrs. Omolaye. Am I right?
Mrs. Omolaye.
Okay, Omolaye. That's
Omolaye.
Yes. She's actually the founder of a startup in Lagos, and she's going to give us a very, very brief view of what she does, what her company does, and how it's impacting the generation today and in the future.
Thank you very much, Toby. Thank you so much for having me on your wonderful channel. Hello, everyone. My name is Chioma Omolaye. I'm the founder of TechEduHub, as he has rightly said. TechEduHub was established in 2019. This was after I found out that there is still a huge gap in technology education in Nigeria. Okay, so there are still lots of vacuum in the job market. There's a lot of vacancies yet unfilled in the tech world. So I believe that establishing such a company will help me bridge the gap. At least I would assist the nation to bridge that gap. I'm a machine learning engineer. I'm also into robotic process automation. But right now, I am an educator because my heart goes out to the young ones as early as 5 years so that they're exposed to the things that I wasn't exposed to. So there's no need for me to just, oh, I know these things now. Let me fly abroad. Let me work with this company. Let me work with that company. Constantly, I was reminded who's going to expose these young ones. And I'm so happy that since we started, there are also lots of people like me that have also started because we can't. I mean, 200 million people and a lot of young ones as population, so we can't, as a company, fill the entire gap. So I'm happy that companies like myself are also, coming up to, to train the young ones in tech.
That's good. That's good.
Thank you
That's
very
brilliant.
much.
So you spoke about the challenges that, like labor market in Nigeria. We're talking about 200 million people.
Yes, yes.
Now, what exactly or how have you been able to approach all these problems, or specifically, what problems have you been able to address with your company?
Okay. First of all, I'd like to say that it's our objective to produce locally and globally relevant citizens. Okay, so we've done a lot of awareness. We've come up with a lot of courses. We've had teachers in time past who know these things. I've also had friends and colleagues in the industry who have mentored in the past and are also currently teaching as part-time at TechEduHub. Okay, so we've worked with corpers, we've worked with pupils. We also do train the trainers program, okay, for schools or for anybody that would, or educator that would like to take on these courses, these STEM related courses or tech related courses like artificial intelligence, machine learning, data mining. We've done a lot of collaboration because see, no man is an island. We've done a lot of collaboration with fellow hubs, and the rest.
Like the one of Stanford.
Yes. Oh, yes. I remember our meeting point, Women in Data Science. It's a Stanford University initiative.
Stanford is in the US, I guess.
Yes, Stanford is in the US. So yes, data science is the in thing. Data is a new oil, everyone. So and you need big data technology to crunch big data. Okay, so please, it's something that I really wish that everyone would be exposed to and learn.
Okay, so now the next question is, you mentioned something regarding STEM, that is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. What do you think is the future of STEM in Nigeria? Because currently Nigeria is faced with so many challenges, and do you think there is a shortage of manpower in STEM that is the problem in Nigeria, or do you think more needs to be done? What do you think the education sector in Nigeria needs as far as STEM is concerned? Because for me, I believe I don't think the problem is with manpower. There is manpower, but I think the problem is more of, I'm thinking of application or applying these STEM or giving opportunity to these STEM graduates to solve Nigeria's problem. Because like in the US, in the United States, you have a lot of STEM graduates that are giving grants to invent things. Android, for instance, now is a product of STEM. There were two guys who were doing PhD, and they came around. I think it was not even Android; it was Google. They were in university. They were writing a project for their thesis, and in one of the universities, when they made their final defense, people took it up in one of these conventions, scientific conventions they did, and it became what it is today. Google is what everybody knows. You have Google Maps, you have Google Images, Google this, Google that. So what I'm trying to now say is that what do you think Nigeria can do? How can we apply STEM to solve some of Nigeria's biggest problems?
Okay, thank you so much for that question. I'm going to answer it very honestly. STEM or STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, is a mindset and it is a movement. We've gone through generations upon generations, but yet as a nation, we are not design thinkers, we are not innovators, we are not critical thinkers, we are not problem solvers. Okay, so then that means there is something wrong with the way we are taught, and it needs to be what we engineered. So STEM is actually a blend in education. STEM is a blend of two or more of those alphabets, whether it's science and technology or engineering and mathematics, to deepen a child's understanding in a particular subject area. Okay, so you can have a child code a math problem, write codes. Okay, using mathematics, solving a particular mathematics problem. Okay, so the problem still remains that some of the educators, some of the stakeholders don't even know that they're supposed to start applying these things now. They are born from, they are in another generation and are struggling to to fit in or to accept the fact that we need to approach education in a STEM way. So that is one challenge. Another challenge we have is that as an educator, not everyone who has studied STEM likes to teach. So we've really had, my brother, a shortage in manpower for those who are willing to teach this STEM to the younger ones. So we've had no one has an interest. There is nobody really right now that is STEM compliant, that is looking for a job. I must tell you, if you're a tech person or you're a science person, I'm not sure you'll be looking for a job. Please let me know if you're such person. Because the opportunities are huge. Unless if you've not added one or two skills, just a little one or two skills, look out for those skills. Maybe you've not added one or two skills to what you have learned. And of course, for those who have studied maybe computer engineering, computer science, some of those courses, yes, but it wasn't the holistic thing that was taught, and that's why it's a university, it's a school you need to pass through. But you need to look inwards, look globally, look at this job market. What are the skills they want? Oh, they want a JavaScript developer. They want someone that can use this technology. They want someone that can use that technology. So it is very important for you to pay attention to those extra STEM skills that you need an extra certification for you to fit into the job market. So I've highlighted two problems now. I've highlighted the fact that even the stakeholders, let me not use the word selfish, don't know that they need to start drumming these things. In fact, it should be as a matter of policy, because as a nation, if we're not makers, if we're not innovators, then we just keep consuming, and our currency keeps getting bad, and nothing is working. Okay, for how long should we be called a developing nation?
Country.
Yes, and it's also our way out of poverty. So just imagine that I have a tech, or you have a tech skill. You can actually sit at the comfort of your home and take on remote jobs. Haven't you heard of Upwork and some of the Glassdoor and some of those job vacancy sites that will actually advertise remote jobs? Okay, there could be companies in US that need your services, and that's the good thing about tech. You do not have to be present, right, in a physical location to start working on something. Everything now is online. Everything now is virtual. No thanks, or will I say? First of all, no. I like to say no thanks to COVID. No thanks to COVID, but yes, the fact that the lockdown happened and everyone saw that the virtual is the next phase, especially in Nigeria. Those abroad have seen it way before. So, but it really hit us in 2020 that, in fact, everything has to be tech. Look at the DG of WTO, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. Her son was able to use a robot. It's in the news. Her son was able to use a robot as a medical doctor to perform a surgery. So it takes someone with a STEM mindset. When are we going to get there as a nation? When can we start using STEM to approach even road problems, to approach what's it called, robbery issues, to approach education issues? When? Okay, so I think it's high time that we come across those challenges and praise up.
One of those things you said that
Yes.
really piqued my fancy and my attention is that the absence of critical thinking.
Yes.
Because STEM on its own, I think, should be the solution to most problems in developing countries. Because Africa and Nigeria in particular cannot remain as a developing country much longer. Like there's a statistics that is going around on the internet that it says that more than half of the population of Nigeria is under 24. So we have a huge workforce and we have a problem as well. And the greatest resource that everybody has been talking about, both in the United States, in Canada, in the UK, about Nigeria, is that they need to make use of this human resource to solve Nigeria's problem. You get it? So because there is no more time, and if critical thinking from STEM, as science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, if it is not applied on time, for instance, what you rightly mentioned, the devaluation of Nigeria's naira. There has been so many policies since 1960 as regards this issue that has evaded several successive governments in Nigeria, and it's almost tearing us apart. Are you getting it? So I think what you said there is very, very important. The presence of critical thinking. That's what STEM does.
Yes.
And should our government take this thing very seriously, the STEM education and the application of STEM. You can easily forecast through machine learning, what you rightly said. Machine learning, there was one paper I wrote, I think some years back. I used the support vector model, one of these models in machine learning, to predict what the naira would be in 2020. And could you believe that, surprisingly, people were calling me. Those who saw the paper, they said, I told you wrote this thing, and it's already happening. Because that paper, that particular research showed that in 2020, January of 2020, naira would drop to 500 naira to $1.
Exactly.
And it's exactly what happened. In February, there was an announcement made that the Central Bank of Nigeria said the naira was going to be devalued. And ever since, the naira is still struggling. And the problem is not with the current dispensation of government or whatever, but I think the absence of STEM education and the absence of critical thinking in governance is one of the biggest challenges that Nigeria has that needs to be solved.
I can tell you, because we are arresting this problem now, and I enjoy everyone that is like me, please do not relent. We won't have a lack of critical thinkers again in government. We won't have a lack of critical thinkers in our economy. Okay, so that's why at TechEduHub, we are really, really catching them young. Okay, we are really, really catching them young. Yeah.
Okay, so what are the challenges you faced in TechHub? After your inception, I believe working in Nigeria, like NEPA, there is no light, there is all that. I recently told you about acquiring a solar panel in my office here in Lagos. Solar panel for me, it solved the power issue completely because I really don't have to depend on that. But for you, tell us what challenges have you faced, including the power outages and all that. How have we been able to surmount these challenges?
Okay, thank you so much. At first, I had acceptance issues. Okay, so you go from schools to schools, talk to parents, from parents to parents. It's still the same thing. What's this thing you're talking about? It's not yet in our Nigerian curriculum. Are you sure it is relevant to my child? But if it is relevant to my child, I thought the school should be championing it. Do you understand that mindset? Okay? If it's not maths, if it's not English, if it's not agric, if it's not, and all that, which one again is coding? Which one again is game development? Which one again is multi-code, AI, artificial intelligence? Which one again is automation? What are you talking about? So, and I'm still continuing in that challenge. Some of them will even say, oh, I think it's my son that knows how to, he likes to build things. Okay, let him learn the technology. Okay, but my daughter, she doesn't like to build things, so I think maybe for those that finally get convinced, they also tend to, take away the girl child. But increasingly, as we educate, because we're not tired of continuously educating and creating awareness, this will not be the narrative in 5 years' time. This will be the narrative in 10 years' time.
Yes.
So I am happy, and we are happy, and thanks for your platform to continuously talk about these things so that people will learn. Okay, so that's why I had acceptance issues, and of course, breaking even was really so hard as a company, as an entrepreneur, in this whole tech education STEM space. Because you want, and because of the passion, you want people to accept this thing. We collect very little amount. We collect very small amount, so that the schools begin to see, the importance of this STEM education. And so by the time we finish collecting, pay staff, pay this, there's almost nothing. And another challenge we had was, like the hardwares that we use, some of them, most of them, all of them are not produced by us. So especially the robots, or maybe when we're teaching what's called automation. So the devaluation of the naira is constantly hurting us, but we're not relenting, because we need these kits, these hardware kits, for our children to learn. And then in future, they will then produce the hardware that can be used for continuous education. But right now, we're not producing anything. The components for the robots were really not. The highest we have done actually as a company is to build like maybe what's called the chassis, the architecture, maybe with cartons or cardboard, or maybe some kind
Locally
of acrylic, locally sourced. But the real components, to make these things are not done by us. So we need to constantly import, these items. So that's where all the money is going into. And then the constant devaluation of naira, like I said, is really not helping us, because today is this amount, tomorrow is even higher. And then you're looking at internally what you charge, and parents what you charge schools. Are you ever going to break even? But the struggle continues, and the passion is still there. That's all that matters.
Wow, 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 wow. I'm so inspired by those,
Thank
what
you.
you've gone through and the challenges. And
Yeah.
for the fact that you didn't stop there, and you forged ahead, and you are, of course, today a success story, and there's still more to come.
And I also want to use this opportunity to thank brands that have also supported this movement. Okay, so for example, since 2019, we've been having the Cadbury Bonvita Tech Bootcamp. So Cadbury Bonvita is one of the brands that actually keyed straight on into this whole technology space. So I want to thank them, and we're also looking forward to more brands supporting children, their parents, their schools that can't afford these things, and they need it. Okay, so we hope that these stakeholders, the brands, would continue to sponsor our efforts to teach them in schools and to children.
Yeah, I hope they will do that too,
Yeah.
because what you're doing is very, very inspirational, and
Thank
it's
you.
very, very, very good.
Thank
So,
you.
how, before we finalize and come to conclusion, I want you to tell us, how did you come by the name Tech Hub? How did you come by the name Tech Hub? Was it in your university? What did you read that inspired you to that?
Never. So, okay, maybe this my story might inspire someone. I have BSc marketing, not BSc computer, not computer engineering, not
Wow.
computer science, not any engineering, BNG, nothing. Right? I have BSc marketing. I love data, and then I began to hear about big data. And you need big data technology to what? To crunch big data. Okay? So like you mentioned the analysis you did that because you had data and lots of data with it. I mean the analysis
The Nigerian historic trend.
yes, exactly. So you had data. Okay, so when I began to see that this big data technology, everything, and the whole thing threw me to coding and all that, and I got some certifications which would have afforded me to maybe start working with some big companies and global companies, but I had to sit back and look. I said, no, why not establish, your own company that will help to tutor these children? Because I tried to actually see if I could collaborate with some people, but I saw that nobody really had the same passion that I had. Okay, so and then in coming up with the names like you're right, of course we have to register the company CAC. I knew that at least tech had to be there, right? And education had to be there. So we joined it. Tech, it was a lot of searching. I think when we went to CAC, we did a lot of name change. Before the name got approved, and finally it was TechEduHub, and I was so happy. And I said, let's hit
So,
the road.
what advice you have to young graduates that are out there
Okay.
that are coming fresh from Nigerian university? Because a whole lot of people keep talking about going to Canada, and some of these countries, it's not as if going to for green card or changing your citizenship, having a second citizenship is bad or it's not good, it's good. But for those who decide to remain in Nigeria, what advice do you have for them? As far as was you started from the like what you already said that you're not even a STEM graduate,
Yes, no.
you read marketing and you need this success of yourself and the organization. So what advice do you have for youngsters, fresh graduates who are just coming out from Nigerian universities and entering the labor market? What tips can you give to them to succeed in Nigeria?
Thank you very much again for the question. Like I used to tell some set of corpers when I taught with Lagos State youth corpers, I taught them, all thanks to the state coordinator, Mr. Edwin Begwa, who gave us the opportunity to teach. So I discovered that a lot of them are in business. Some also want to pursue career. And the same thing, you watching me, maybe you have your own business or you want to pursue a career. The thing there is that even in your business, you need to leverage on technology. There is even when you are selling akara, paper, pencil. What will help you is leveraging on technology to boost your sales. Would you keep working under the sun from door to door to door to door, the traditional approach, traditional method of selling? So there is a digital method of selling, and that's tech. As an artist, as a musician, as an actor, but please, I don't know, please help me. Is there some kind of business that you want to do now? Even if you are fixing lights for people, installation of whatever, even if you're a carpenter and you're not leveraging technology, you're not you're digitally conversing with your client base or customers or following up with them in a techie way. I mean, you're drawing us back as a nation. So please leverage on technology, even if you want to be. Not everyone will be behind the system coding. You understand, doing the jobs. My brother, now. Not everyone. But what I don't understand is, as a business, why you have no leverage on technology for your business. And then the other set are those that want to pursue the white collar jobs, and maybe they find themselves in marketing or whichever department. Do you even know that you need technology? Have you heard of robotic process automation? Please Google it. Please Google it. So you need to see that very soon, if it's not a hardware robot, it's going to be a software robot that might replace you. So why not be the smart person to take on these skills? So when what's it called error comes in your organization, you'll be able to surmount because you have the skills.
Okay. On that note, I would want to say a very big thank you to our special guest today. And I'm going to leave our address in the description below. Make sure you contact her for any other thing you would love to do.
Cheers. Thank you so much. Thank you. This is another of our STEM kits. It's called the QuestBot. We use this to teach coding, robotics, mathematics, and arts. Yes, don't be surprised. And no laptop screen, no internet, no external batteries. It has its charging points. This is a car here. You can charge it with phone chargers, and you also charge this controller. This is the controller. You also charge the controller here. Okay, so this is a pen. So when I said it teaches art too, so this is a pen that will be slotted in the car. so that as you give it codes to move, it also moves alongside with the car, and makes the line or makes the arc or makes a circle, whatever. We can use these to teach mathematics in such a way that we can tell the child, okay, if x is 2, y is 3, what's the value of x plus y? So this can be used to do that. Children can draw triangles, from arched triangle, obtuse triangle, a square with all sides 10 centimeters or 20 centimeters, as you may want to put it. Simple equations. And there are also coding blocks. Like I mentioned, it teaches codes. You might want to show them the coding blocks. Okay, so when we talk about conditions, if you're into coding, we'll bring out the blocks now. You see the if, the else, and then when we talk about functions, you can actually use this kit to teach a child what the create function, what's it called, in coding is all about. And then when we talk about loops, wow, okay, when you hear about wow, you talk about loops. So these are the codes here. So these are the conditions and the codes for conditions. That's for the loops. Then the create function is also somewhere. Okay, I've seen the create function. So just the way you will write your codes as a programmer. So we like to delve into these physical activity before we even start to teach the kids how to code an app and all that. And this saves us a lot because some schools don't have internet, and some students don't have laptops and they need to learn these things. So this is an offline STEM kit. And we received a lot of testimonials and excitement from schools and pupils about this kit. It's so fun. We do it sometimes in the hall, we do it sometimes in the playground, just whichever environment. So it's a great kit that we use to introduce children to coding, robotics, mathematics, and art. Remember, we said that STEM is when you combine two of those alphabets in the acronym STEM or STEAM to deepen a child's understanding in a particular area. So this is art, this is mathematics, this is technology. So there are 3 acronyms, right? Art, math, and technology. Right. Thank you for watching.